Hi, my name is Patrice Smartdrive. I'm the driver performance coach here at Decker Truck Line. We're going to talk today about Smartdrive and how it works and why we're using that. To start, I just want to show you a little montage here of videos. They're all coming from our trucks, and so let's watch this. So Smartdrive is a camera system that we have installed on our trucks. We have two cameras. One is facing forward on top of the windshield. The other one is on the left side of the windshield facing back. And Smartdrive in itself is a passive system. However, we have all the active system of the truck hooked up to Smartdrive. So in other words, let's talk about the technology that we have. We have a radar, a front radar, a forward collision warning system. We also have lane departure. We have a radar on the passenger side for the blind side when you change lane or make a right turn. We have rollover preventions. We have automatic braking system. So all those systems are hooked up to Smartdrive, and therefore, whenever there's a trigger, then the camera is activated, and there will be a video generated. Bendix, which is the systems that our trucks are equipped with, has this to say about the systems. Responsibility for the safe operation of the vehicle remains with the driver at all times. Okay, so this system is actually not to replace a driver, but it's to compensate for the errors that we're making while driving. Okay, so the systems are not here to replace the drivers. You're still responsible for driving the truck. However, these active systems are here to compensate for errors. So the way it works is the cameras are always on. Okay, when the truck is starting, when the ignition is on, the system is on as well, and the cameras are on. There is no capability for us to go on the computer and see, hey, I wonder what this driver is doing right now. Okay, this is not a live feed. This is all recorded events. Okay, so So the trigger, usually on that timeline right here, the trigger's in the middle. We get 10 seconds before and 10 seconds after of video. However, the way it's being recorded is that when there's a trigger, like a speeding trigger, a shock maneuver, a following distance issue, or maybe a manual activation, there's a button under the forward-facing camera that you can push, and it will record also 20 seconds of video. So when that happens, when there's a trigger, the video is generated, then it is uploaded to the network, goes to the Smartdrive center. They review the videos, they assign the trigger to it, what triggered the video, and then they will also assign observations made. What did they observe during that 20 seconds of video? Again, the driver can also activate the video or the camera by pushing the button there. There is also a keypad on the dashboard that you can push the button under the screen, and it will record 20 seconds video. Now I tell the driver not to push this button unless they are not involved with something. If you are involved with something, like let's say an accident or something like that, then you don't need to push the button, because then that will be a trigger and we'll see the video. However, if you witness something, you can push the video, the button, and it will generate a video. Also, you don't want to push the button if you're, let's say, if you're following too close. Okay, each video and each event is scored from 0 to 315 points. So anytime you're, let's say, too close and you push the button, you record a video, you're going to get tagged with points. Now, on the point system, the lower the better. Okay, so avoid, scoring too many points by pushing the button. So like in sports, where they, after the game, they'll review the tape. Also in the military, they do the same thing, and now we do that also with professional drivers. So these videos are not to point fingers and say, hey, you're doing this wrong, or do this, stop doing that. Okay, these videos are to help drivers get better at what they do. To give you an example of how many events we have, in September of last year we had about 8,300 events, videos that came through, and yes, we did watch all of these. We had 2,800, or a little bit more than 2,800 on following too close at 3 seconds or less. Out of these events, we had about 60% of those that were at less than 1 second of following distance. Okay, so following distance is the biggest issue that we have. It's about 32% of all the events. It used to be at 47%, so we came down a little bit. Less than, what we notice is less than 10% of the drivers are the repeat customers. Okay, so following too close is a bad habit. Everybody has bad habits, and that's what we're trying to eliminate. Okay. In October of last year, about the same scenario right here, about 8,900 events, 3,000 on following less than 3 seconds, and then 60% of those on following less than 1 second. Okay, so again, 10% of the drivers are repeat customers. So day in and day out, I'll see the same drivers doing the same thing, and that's following too close. Every driver has a file in Smartdrive, and again, this file helps us to coach drivers and help them to make good decisions. Okay, this driver, for example, has this is a 12-week period right here, and during that 12-week period, this driver had more and more points. He actually reached 809, which was really high then. And then we started coaching him, and his score came down, and now he's below the target score. Now, what I'd like you to notice on the graph is the dotted line is actually how we are doing as a company. Where do we stand? Right now, we are at 64 points as a company, which is really good. A year and a few months ago when we started this program, we were at 362 as a company. Over the year we came down, and now we are at 65. So over the year, drivers have been doing better. They have been doing really good as far as eliminating their bad habits and helping the company be safer in themselves as well. So this is our target score, 53. This is what we set as a company to achieve, and we're not far actually from there. Here's another example of a driver, same scenario. He was really high, mainly on falling distance, and got up to a 966 right here, starting to coach the driver, and now he's actually, this one was in March last month, but his score now is below 53. So again, it's a really good tool to teach drivers how to eliminate their bad habits. Again, if you have any questions, this would be the right time to ask your trainer. There is another software, another system that we use for speed monitoring, and that's Speed Gauge. What Speed Gauge does, and maybe some of you are familiar with the OmniTrack system on the Qualcomm. The OmniTrack system will pick, sometimes it's not accurate, and it will pick a speed on a frontage road, for example, at 35, and you're on the freeway at 65, and it will tell you that you're speeding. Of course, it's picking the wrong speed. So we use this system, Speed Gauge. It's based on GPS and the computer on your truck. So the speed limit right here comes from the database that they have with the location right here, and then the speed of the truck and the difference right here. Okay, so we know exactly when, where, and by how much the speed was exceeded. Again, we use that as a tool to teach or to coach drivers on how to curb their speeding events. Okay. Okay, there are 3 observations that will impact your good standing with the company. They're all in your FMCSR Green Book of rules and regulations. The first one is the texting, dialing, holding the phone in your hand, and we need to define what texting is. Most of the people think texting is inputting text in the phone. It's that, and it's also reading a text from a phone. It's also looking for a web page, looking for the weather, looking for contacts, looking for music on your phone. Anything that is more than one touch button on the phone is texting. Then we have also the handheld, which is holding your phone in one hand, at least one hand, or to your ear or anything like that. So please use a Bluetooth and connect that. Make sure you know how it works. Push one button on your Bluetooth to make a phone call or to listen to a text, or even some Bluetooth will dictate and answer texts. As far as phone is concerned, it's one of the biggest distractions that we have, and it's something that needs to be eliminated. So we are really strict on this. The first time with texting offense or phone offense will be a verbal warning. The second one will be a written warning, and it could go up to termination. So please use your Bluetooth. Have your phone in a phone mount. We have phone mounts in Ford Dodge. I believe we have some in Missoula and Bessemer as well. If there is none there, you can ask the staff there if they can help in getting one. The second observations that will impact your good standing is seat belt. Obviously, you wear the seat belt above your shoulder and not under your arm. That's the incorrect way of using the seat belt. And then the third one is transportation of unauthorized passengers. It's easy to get an authorization. Call safety within an hour or two. You can have an authorization, and then you'll be able to have a passenger with you. Again, this would be a good time to ask your trainer if you have any questions. Okay, so two things to remember. First of all, you are the final authority as to the operation of your truck. Okay, not the active system, not the forward collision warning, not the rollover prevention, but you are in charge of driving your truck. And then second, don't put yourself in situations that you cannot handle. Okay, we see that a lot of times, driving too fast for condition, following too close. Don't put yourself in those situations that you won't be able to get out of. So this is the end of the Smartdrive presentation. If you have any questions, again, you can always talk to your trainer. If you're on the road and you have questions, you can always call me. I'm at extension 2335. If you have questions on videos, you can also call me and do that. One thing that you can monitor is actually your score. You can monitor your score on the Transfro app. Under safety, under the safety tab, you'll see Smartdrive. Just fill out company would be Decker, username is your alpha code, and then the password, just give me a call or talk to your trainer for your password. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for making Decker a safer company.